But you are the Associate Director at Public Affairs and Religious Liberty Department at the General Conference. And we were saying, I was saying with Amy before that probably there are a bunch of people who don't even know that there's such a department, or what does it even do? What do you guys exist for? So maybe we can start there with what do you do at PARL?
Sure. So at PARL, I am the Director of Government Relations, which means that I am the liaison between the Seventh-day Adventist Church and Washington, D.C. So what PARL does is we represent the Seventh-day Adventist Church in making sure that we have a standing of credibility and trust and relevance within the public realm. And so there are three of us in PARL, the director and then two associates. We have Ganoon Diop, who handles kind of faith relations, dealing with other faith traditions and faith groups. We have Nelu Bircha, who is our United Nations liaison, and then I do the equivalent work, but again in Washington, D.C. And I'm not sure how many people are aware of how the church itself is structured, but every division has a PARL representative. And so there is some interaction between the work that I do and the work that our NAD, North American Division PARL director does. But because our church is headquartered so close to Washington, D.C., it's important that not just the North American division has representation, but also the World Church itself has representation. So I work closely with our North American division counterparts in DC.
Is there, just a follow-up for the layperson, you know, we have this whole separation of church and state thing. So are you like, you know, contravening our beliefs in separation of church and state, and you're like trying to unite our church with the state?
Oh no. And so actually,
Okay.
quite the opposite. We want to maintain that. We want to promote that. We want to make sure that laws that come out don't blur that line between the separation of church and state, because our church believes very strongly that there needs to be a separation, that the state should do state things and that religion should be able to do religious things, and the state shouldn't be imposing on someone's right to practice their religion or not practice their religion as they so desire, and the state should not be endorsing or promoting any particular religion as well. And so again, that's part of what PARL does. We also have another entity that I work with called IRLA, which is the International Religious Liberty Association. It was chartered in 1893. It's actually the oldest religious liberty association in the world, International Religious Liberty Association. And again, it's promoting the freedom to believe or not believe as individuals believe. And this is in accordance with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we believe that religious freedom is a fundamental right, and it's connected with all human rights. And so we try to make sure that in DC, we are also advocating that position, that there needs to be clear boundaries between church and state.